Hello everyone, welcome to a new reading. Today we have a very special reading, one that I actually pre-shuffled the oracle in a live stream, which was the first one I've ever done. I guess feel free to check that out if you want. It was kind of a new experience, kind of scary, kind of spoopy. But one of the things that I think I mentioned there, I was thinking of like maybe opening private readings and stuff. I was thinking I will have to explain to people what type of reader I am, what I focus on, what are my strengths and my weaknesses as a channeler. I guess that's the best way I can describe it. And how all of that will work. I was thinking, it would be a very fun and interesting reading to have like what type of tarot reader will you be. So I was thinking, the disclaimer is that this could also apply for anyone out there that does any type of divination, and also you don't have to be like an expert at any sort of divination to be able to channel messages. So just keep that in mind, because I do feel that this could also be for people that may want to get into divination and may want to get an idea of how they will function. Some of the questions that we will be asking in this reading is like the focus of your questions, what guides help you with your channeling, and maybe the way that you deliver messages. So I thought that would be something fun to do, and that's why this reading is happening now. And in front of me, I have 6 different piles. Pile number 1, we have Lapis Lazuli. Pile number 2, we have Black Tourmaline. Pile number 3, we have Chrysocolla. I think that's how you say it. For pile number 4, we have Amber. Did I hear a llama? Okay, no, shit. Calm down. And for pile number 5, we have Larimar. I think that's the name of it. And pile number 6, we have Sapphire. So all I did to pick for this pile is like I just shuffled the deck and I was like, give me cards, and these were it. Also, I was thinking of doing 4. I was mentally prepared for 4, but I took the Happy Tarot and I was like, give me a number. How many piles am I going to do for this pick a card reading? And I got the 6 of Wands, so 6 piles it is. So feel free to pause the video if you need more time to pick your pile. And when you have picked the pile that is calling out to you, go down to the description below to click on your timestamp so you go to that part of the reading, I guess, of the video. And I'll see you on your pile. Also, if anyone wants to pick more than one, I guess feel free to do so, since we have a lot of options. And if not, you can stick with one and that will be good enough. So yes, all that said, I will start with pile number 1. Hello, pile 1. Welcome to your reading. So the card that you picked is Lapis Lazuli, which is actually a very good card to, I guess, stone to have when you want to start channeling. This is actually one of the first stones or crystals that I got when I started channeling. So here we have the throat chakra and the third eye. I actually wrote like little notes for this. We have spirituality and prosperity. We have inner truth, inner power, love, purification, intuition, and positive magic and self-confidence, manifestation, friendship. So these are some of the things that I guess are related to this stone, and some of the things that could resonate with you. We have protects against psychic attacks, releases stress, brings peace, and the last thing is encourages self-awareness and self-expression. So again, I think this is very important that the first pile that we have right here is about Lapis Lazuli. Again, one of the stones that I started with. And also, this is a stone that might be very good for beginners, in my opinion. So many of you may be starting off, or many of you may be starting off in a new journey or in a new form of divination, or just a new way of viewing something. I do feel that with this, we are having many people that are getting clarity in their paths, a lot of new perspectives, of new views. So you guys may be in a new chapter in your lives, just in general. And also with Lapis Lazuli, there is a lot of knowledge coming through, but it comes from the sense of understanding yourself as an individual. So many of you may be focused on yourselves right now, or focused on how people should focus on themselves. And here, let me put it right here, because I have some Lapis Lazuli right there. Now let's look at your oracles first. So here we have, okay, I'll do my best with the pronunciation of these words. We have Chokma with the right eye, wisdom. So many of you one of the main things that I'm seeing with this is like someone that may be working with you is a guide that is very good at seeing many points of view and many perspectives at once. There you go. Not as one. That is later. So I'm seeing an image of someone that is able to break themselves apart in order to analyze each piece individually and then being able to bring all of those pieces together to see the bigger picture. So it's kind of like a puzzle. You're able to, one of the things that you're doing is that one of the guides that is helping you is usually, because this is the Angelarium card, so this is filled with angels, I guess. You're working with someone that is very good at pulling all the details, analyzing them, and then putting them together to see how they all work individually and how they all work as a whole. So I'm seeing that many of you guys are learning how to specialize, as well as seeing how all of that could work in your advantage as you are an individual, right? So I guess the best way I can put it is like some of you may be very versatile, as in like you may be good at astrology, you may be good with runes, you may be also very good with I guess witchcraft and spells, or you could also be, into tarot as well. And you put all of those things together in order to get more information, depending on the strengths and weaknesses that each tool has for you. So I think that you guys are very good at that. Also, I feel that many of you guys are people that are constantly giving to others as well. But it's your information. So many of you guys may be good at writing articles or journaling or something along those lines. Like you're very good at keeping track of the information that you get. That's what I'm getting as well. I do feel that your guides might have even encouraged you to physically write down the information and the messages that you channel to be able to process them later. But let's look at some of your other oracle cards. Yeah, we have oceans with the keyword bravery. So this is water, a water element. This tells me that you are someone that is very good at seeing the bigger picture in everything that you do. Yeah, you're someone that is not afraid of going into the unknown. One of the first things that I heard when I saw this card was indigo. So I'm assuming that you guys are kind of like indigo children, meaning that many of you were very good at just kind of venturing into the unknown and opening paths for other energies that came in later, like I guess crystal children or rainbow children, or I don't know what the names are, but I remember that was something that I was aware of before. Here we have number 20, which I think this is the emotions card. And then we have not for you, the chess piece. Hold up, give me a second. So I did take out the booklet. So I have this Santa Muerte Oracle and I really like it. I really enjoy it. However, I have not used it a lot and I have not memorized some of these names. I mean, it just has the number right there, but I haven't really memorized them. So we may have to read from it. Oh, so yeah. So number 20, we have fraternity, which I will read from. I guess I could read from it right now. So right here we have fraternity with no true evolution or progress is possible if we consider ourselves to be isolated from the world. This card encourages us to do any spiritual and subsequent material work in a state of solidarity and trust towards others. The primordial concept expressed by the love card, which is number 4, must sediment in our minds so as to bloom and lead us to collaborate with others for a greater good. The advice of the dead is approach your work and your actions in a state of socialness and solidarity, perhaps starting collaborations with those you trust. So, yeah, I guess it makes sense. So with the message that we just got, I have a very strong feeling that many of you are barely starting off in your journey, or many of you could have been very spiritual, but you haven't really shared your knowledge with other people, but you have a lot of that knowledge put somewhere. And what I mean somewhere is like you write it down, maybe in like documents, or you write it down on a journal, or there's some place where you have it for safekeeping, and you haven't really shared that information and that knowledge that you have with others. I think that it may have been a very crazy experience for you starting into your spiritual side. A lot of things that may have been scary, a lot of things that I don't think you have gotten much guidance from other people. That's what I'm getting. I don't think you were that familiar with how this works, and that could have been a bit discouraging. And in a way, the process may have been a bit slow for you, because I do feel that many of you may have started your journey as people that you were just kind of opened up. Like you just all of a sudden you started seeing the world differently, or some of you may have had it even since you were young, but you may have suppressed that, and now that you're older or that time has passed, you're able to look at it again and be like, oh, I guess I do have the spiritual gifts that I just didn't really know what it was before, what to call it or what to label it. Now I know how I could potentially process that information. So I'm seeing that many of you, especially with this fraternity card, I hope I'm saying that right. I don't know why I feel like my head is up in this up in space. I don't feel that grounded right now. So I guess some of you could be feeling like that. But with this card, I'm getting that many of you may have had this sense of having to be brave because you may have been on your own for a very long time. You may have been like the Hermit card in tarot, which is usually a card of someone that is going into self-isolation in order to get to know themselves better, in order to find enlightenment by gathering more information, by trying to know themselves better in a way that's just shadow work. So I do feel that many of you guys have been on a very lonely road in the sense of spirituality. So I'm not saying that you have been on your own for a very long time. All I'm saying is that you really haven't had other people to bounce off ideas on how this works, and maybe you have not really been introduced to the community in a way that you understood it as like, oh, I see myself being part of it. I'm kind of hesitating saying that because I don't think you really need to be part of the community. All I'm saying is that you haven't really been in it enough to understand how it works for yourself and understand that you're not the only one. That's what I'm getting at, basically. But with a not for you, let me also read from the book because I really like what the book has to say. We have not for you, essential meanings, a clear knowing that something is being denied. Rejection is God's protection. So the oracle message: there are times when it appears that no matter how deeply you desire something, no matter how hard you work at something, the result that you seek always seems to elude you. I see. Okay. I just needed a little bit of information. So with this number 6, so not for you. I have a feeling that for many of you, you may not really desire to pursue the spiritual path, as in like make money out of it or be super involved with it. I think this is going to stay as something very personal for you. However, the information that you have will be very important to share with others. I do feel that there's this sense of being a little bit less analytical and logical and trying to be a bit more spiritual. But you don't really have to go full on in and make that your whole life. As much as it is more of a tool that you can use to understand yourself better and understand your world better. I do feel that there's this thing of like you sharing with others the information that you have, but you yourself don't really have to use your gifts of divination for other people. So what I'm saying is like you don't need to have like a YouTube channel and do tarot like I am doing. You don't need to like read other people's natal charts. You don't have to do that. So your spiritual gifts are something that I feel you're gonna keep very private and for your self growth, your self understanding, and also understanding the world around you. However, I do feel that some of the information that you get could be very beneficial for others, and feel free to share that. So you can share that just as wisdom to others, like if you notice a pattern in people's lives, you can just give advice of like what you think will be the best option, the best way of going about it. And that is a good way of sharing your wisdom without having to be super involved with how the spiritual world works. Also, with the not for you, I'm sensing this thing of like you may be noticing how to see the world bigger than this 3D has to offer. Seeing the higher power, seeing this higher vision, seeing things in a logical way, but with spirituality coming in handy. So what I mean is like when you release control, you're able to actually start manifesting without feeling pressure on like what you actually have to do to make something happen. So there's a sense of relief coming as well for you, pile 1. But let's just get more cards. Let's just pull out tarot. So I'm using the makeshift tarot. That's what my sister and I ended up calling it, which is just like a bunch of like playing cards, and on the back we just like tape the name of all the tarot cards. And we did this, and it's actually very useful because it allows me to get whichever image has to go through. And yeah, let's use it. So what is the focus of your inquiries, pile 1? We have the Page of Cups reverse and the 3 of Swords upright. So usually when you feel pain or when you lack motivation, that's usually when you connect spiritually. So I do feel that many of you could be in a very pensive state. You start like sitting down quietly and start analyzing the situation that you're going through when things seem to not be working in your favor. So when you feel some sort of heartache, or you feel like you're not motivated, or you could be a very creative person, like that could be part of your job as well. When ideas are not flowing thoroughly, that's when you connect the most. That's when you start asking what is wrong. And I feel that some of you may not even aware that when you start asking, like when you start complaining into the air, like you're not complaining to anyone specifically, and you're just like, why is this not working? Like, you know, when you ask those questions and you're trying to like make sense of what's going on with you, I feel that's actually when you connect us the most spiritually. Why? Because you're asking questions. All of a sudden, you're like asking the universe, why are things not working the way that I want them? Why is this happening to me? And, you know, those things, you may feel like you're just kind of thinking aloud, but in reality, you're actually connecting to your spiritual team. And I think that some of you may not even realize it. Also, the image that I got for the Three of Swords was actually the Four of Cups, funnily enough. Someone that may feel a bit defeated, someone that will feel bored. And I think the Four of Cups that I'm seeing is from, we call it the Mina Tarot, but what is the actual name of it? Traditional manga tarot, I think that's what it's called. And yeah, it's just like a guy that's leaning against a tree as he's sitting down and kind of has his eyes closed in a way to show boredom or being distracted, not seeing what the universe has to offer. But I do feel that with you, it just kind of applies like when you feel defeated, when you feel like you're giving up or you don't feel motivated, your spiritual team is there. That's actually what you probably ask the most. Like, you don't even realize it. Like, you connect to your spirit guides when you're asking, like, why are things not working out? And it also kind of shows that, you know, that card is not supposed to represent someone that's defeated, but to you, that's what it feels like. Now, yeah, we already talked about the guys that usually help you are people that helps you kind of like pick apart the situation that you're in or who you are as a person and kind of putting all of that together. But let's see. What is the way that you deliver your messages? We have Strength Reverse. We have the High Priestess, the Queen of Wands, the World, and the Knight of Wands. So you have a lot of fire within you. So you're a very passionate person, pile 1. You have a lot of Major Arcana right here. So the way that you deliver your messages, I'm getting, there's like a creative outlet here, but it's, and then we have the King of Wands on the bottom of your deck. That is insane. I'll put it out here because I think that's, actually no. Like, I'll put it out here, but I'll just have it like that. I'm not going to shuffle more. So we have Leo energy, we have the moon, and we have Saturn energy right here. And then we have Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. So you have all fire signs here. So one of the things that I'm getting is that the way that you deliver your messages is by comparing who you were, your past self, and who you want to be in the future. So I do feel like you guys may plan a lot. You may even have like a journal or a diary that you keep track of very closely. And I think this is very important because that's, in a subconscious way, you have trained yourself to see patterns within your life. And all of that has definitely helped you to keep track of the channel messages that you get, despite not being super aware of your spiritual gifts. Because I have a feeling that many of you guys don't even realize what your gifts are when it comes to your spiritual connections and your channeling. Now, we have the Strength card here reversed. So I do feel that some of you guys, the way that you deliver your messages can be a bit rough because we have a lot of fire energy. So it's very spontaneous, it's very on the spot. And it's, I do feel that it's kind of like you hear this subconscious whisper and you just go for it. It's like the universe gives you a spark and you run and just get things done. So I do feel like you just take action. You don't need much encouragement from the universe to do whatever it is that you want to do in your life. And once it, believe it or not, some people really, really struggle with doing what you do naturally. So I do feel that by just being very honest and following your heart, you are already connected to spirit. And because of that, you don't really have to know the ins and outs of how spirituality works. So all I'm getting is that to you guys, all of this is very new. So with the Strength card reversed, I do feel that many of you guys just take action. I'm seeing like strong brute force here. You just do things, you just take action, you don't really think about it. However, you're highly sensitive. And also with the World, I do feel that you are a very structured and disciplined person, meaning that, again, you seem to archive the things that happen to you. So again, some of you may even have like a diary or somewhere where you write what you're feeling, what you're thinking, and what you're going through, and you're able to kind of like go back and see how you reacted, and all of those things help you find patterns, and again, that also helps you with your growth as a person. But I did mention something about seeing your past self and your future self, and I'm saying that because we have the King of Wands, the Queen of Wands, and the Knight of Wands. And the court cards in tarot usually talk about a progression of improvement, of growing up, of stuff along those lines, right? Like the Knight of Wands, okay, knights usually represent like a young person. The Queen usually represents an adult, and the King usually represents like an old man, or, you know, a wise person, basically. So all I'm saying is that one of the ways that you deliver your messages, I guess in this case to yourself, is by comparing who you were yesterday with what you're doing today and what you want to do tomorrow. That's the best way I can describe it. Is like your goals are the future, your present moment is what you're doing right now, of course, and then your past is whatever memories you may have or whatever experiences you have gone through. So you kind of see these 3 points, and constantly I'm getting like, is it called, it's like the word triangle, like something, like you kind of like put all these points together to always kind of figure out who you are, where you're going, and what you want to do. And that is how you channel your messages. That's usually how your messages are delivered to you, by seeing patterns. And those patterns are the way that you deliver those messages to yourself, and you just take action. Again, you're a very spontaneous person with all the fire that you have here. You're very passionate. You are someone that is very optimistic, adventurous. So you don't need much to get going. You don't need much to just follow your heart. That is something that you naturally do, and that's honestly the best way to connect to spirit. So I do feel that there is not much here when it comes to needing to connect more spiritually or anything. You kind of just do it naturally, and you being yourself is the goal that many people that do spirituality go through anyway. So yeah, I hope you guys like this reading, pile 1. I hope you enjoyed it. I thought it was very interesting. It's kind of hard to talk about spirituality to someone that does it so naturally and also doesn't really need it. I'm telling you that from the point of view of someone that really needs it to get a good grasp of like this bigger picture type of thing. And I guess we're all different people, right? So to me, this energy is very different from how I see it and how I work. But I hope I was able to describe you very well. You could be a Taurus as well. I mean, that is Taurus energy, I believe. So you could be a Taurus, or, you know, you just could show someone that is hardworking, determined, and what else? And stable, which I do feel that you guys are. You may have a lot of earth placements when it comes to how you analyze your emotions and how you go about spirituality. So again, the only message that is coming through here that I feel you guys should know is that start sharing your wisdom and your knowledge based on whatever experiences. You know, the advice you give to others is the way that you spread your knowledge. And I feel that the universe is just encouraging you to share your experiences with others, especially if you feel like someone needs it. A word of advice could be very helpful to others. But aside from that, I don't think you came here to give speeches and deliver like these messages of the universe and spirituality. You can definitely do it, and some of you guys could definitely be in that. I guess what should I call you? My archivist of sorts, someone that records information and stores it for others to read later. I guess that could be the best way I can describe pile 1. But once again, I hope you guys liked your reading. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one, whenever that is, however that is. Love and healing from my part to you, and bye. Hello, pile 2. Welcome to your reading. For those of you that pick pile 2 or the Black Tourmaline, this is your reading. So let's see, what type of tarot reader or divination reader are you? So for the Black Tourmaline, I wrote some notes. I actually didn't write that much, so you guys may be very straightforward and to the point. So I wrote that, well, this is Capricorn energy. So yeah, we have grounding and protection. So the way the Black Tourmaline does this is by observing negative energy. That's how it cleanses the environment or your energy. It also helps remove unwanted energy. It brings clarity, wisdom, positive energy, and luck. And we have the solar plexus right here. So I didn't really write that much for your reading, I guess. No, for your card, I guess. But here we have a very well balanced individual with our solar plexus. We are talking about you as someone that is confident, someone that is very optimistic, and someone that is generally pretty positive. I feel that many of you guys may not see it this way. And you guys may be the type of confident that is actually kind of quiet, in the sense of like you're not like flaunting it to other people, you're not showing it off to others, you're just someone that is very sure of yourself, you know. I'm saying because we have the Capricorn energy, so there's this sense of someone that knows their worth, someone that knows their value, their skills, and is very confident with who they are as a person. And yeah, I feel that many of you are doing right now very well. You're taking care of yourself, you're going down through your own mission, you're trying to stay very balanced, and again, you're working on your self-worth and your confidence with that solar plexus, or that's something that you're very good at. But let's look at your oracle. The first card is going to tell me what type of guides you channel with, or I guess work with. So we have Duma with the Angel of Dreams. So again, I say again as if I had said anything already. You guys are people that may get a lot of your information through dreams. So if you don't already have a dream journal ready, every time you wake up, start writing like, oh, this is what I dreamt of, this is what I saw. Or maybe even feel free to like do some sketches of the things that you saw in your dream. I do see this light going around like the hands of this person, so it almost feels like whoever you connect with to channel your messages, it's someone that deeply cares for you. It is someone that likes to allow you to be free and do your own thing. So they may not communicate with you regularly, in the sense of like they're not telling you what to do or what's going to happen. They kind of want to let you do your own thing. They might kind of step in once in a while if they want to warn you about something, or if you yourself asked for a question. So this is not necessarily someone that will just step in to intervene. This is someone that only does that if you ask for it. So if you yourself feel like you don't really get messages, it's probably because you haven't really asked for them. So feel free to connect to your higher self or to your spiritual team and maybe kind of ask a question of like, so I am wondering about this, or I'm wondering about that, or I need more clarity on this, or more clarity on that, or just feel free to kind of drop by and say hi to them. So here we have dark matter with a keyword mystery. We have number 23. Oh, it looks like this person's sleeping. Oh crap. And we have to the sea. So there is quite a lot of water here. So you could be a water sign as well. Or you have very strong feminine energy with that Capricorn and the water that I'm seeing here. With this dark matter, we have mystery. So I do feel that many of you guys do see a lot of things that other people cannot see. You get a lot of information that others don't really get. Maybe about yourself or about others. I do feel that many of you, the type of divination that you do connects you in such a way that it allows you to see the future about things that will happen. I myself am not that type of person. I usually predict based on the energy that I see in the present moment. I don't really get images of what's going to happen in the future. I don't think that's necessarily my focus. But with you guys, that is the case. So I can't really give you examples of how that may look or how that works because I myself don't go through that. But I guess the best way I can explain this is usually how they show in other places, that is kind of like you have a dream of a premonition of sorts, or you could be like That's So Raven, that all of a sudden, I'm saying that because my sister was watching a video about Disney songs. But anyway, you may get like a vision randomly of like something that's going to happen, and you have gotten a lot of confirmation because you have seen things go through as you have seen them. You know what is the other thing? What I said while you were sleeping, that is a K-drama that I still have not finished. I should probably finish it. And in that one, the protagonist is someone that kind of knew from a very young age that her dreams came true. Not her dreams came true as in like achieving a goal. I mean, like, she will have a dream of something that will happen in the future, and she began to write them down on sticky notes, and she had like a whole wall of those things that will happen. Like, she will write like a date, or she will write what happened in it. She will post them there because eventually those things came true, and she started noticing that pattern. So I do feel that many of you have started to notice that you have this gift of like premonition of sorts. But let's see. Yeah, okay. So the name of this card, we have numbers 23, which with the word unconsciousness. So again, the dream state. Now let me read for you what the card says. So the booklet says, this card, directly influenced by the moon, represents the unconscious, which is to say, the treasure chest of images that come from our own experiences, into which thoughts, instincts, emotions, our behavior, models flow, and are influenced in turn by this part of our minds that we are unaware of. It is the passage between the spiritual and physical planes, intrinsically connected to dreams. This psychic dimension is also in contact with all the aspects that come from collectiveness and with a primary, innate, and archetypal aspect that originate in the world of emanations. The advice of the dead is trust your intuition, even if this seems to counter reason and rationality. So pile 2. Many of you, I feel, are actually very afraid and scared of your spiritual gifts. I myself have not really gone through this, but I do know that some people can be very scared of how these gifts manifest in front of them. I do feel that many of you may have seen a lot of dreams that were scary, may have seen things, and how should I put it? I don't think you had someone in your life that could help you navigate this in a way that did not scare you. Or some of you did have someone that helped you navigate these gifts. However, it didn't take away from the fact that it was kind of scary. The stuff that you will see, the stuff that you will hear, the things that you will feel. Like, I'm getting that some of you guys may have experienced sleep paralysis, and that's kind of scary. Some of you guys may have experienced dreams where super crazy stuff happen, and it's just a metaphor of something that is happening in your real life. That's usually how dreams work anyway. But I do feel that this connects in the spiritual realm as well. Again, with this dark matter, I feel that many of you guys were, because we have a bunch of butterflies, and one of the butterflies is on her mouth, kind of like shushing her up. So I do feel that this is something that you quietly went through, and it was very scary. It was filled with unknowns, filled with mysteries, and it could have left you with a lot of uneasiness. However, I don't know if any of you were repelled enough to completely close off these gifts, or if you guys are just slowly navigating them again. Now, we do have a lot of eyes, so I do have a feeling that many of you are just the type of divination that you do is just being able to see the future. Your third eye is super open, super developed, but I don't think you fully understand how it works. Or if you do, it was a scary process when you started. Again, I do feel that many of you guys get dreams. I mean, here we have like a figure that is sleeping, and we do have, what was the keyword of this one? Unconsciousness. So yeah, many of you guys work in a level that you're not even aware of. Many of you guys have this innate talent, I guess we could call it, or just gift of the spiritual world and being able to channel. I mean, it happens when you're asleep, so I do feel that you guys don't really have to do much to kind of be in tune with it. Now, let's see. Let's read just a little bit. Oh, you know what's funny? Pile 1 had card number 6, and you guys have card number 7. So, I don't know. I thought that was kind of fun. So, to the sea, we have essential meaning, being in flow, returning to source, recognizing how pieces fit together, a natural pattern of events. So, let's go with the flow. Again, there's this water energy that you guys have. I mean, we have the angel of dreams, we have unconscious, and then we have to the sea. So that's a lot of water energy here, meaning that you're very spiritually connected when it comes to tarot. That's usually what it talks about. To the sea, I do feel that many of you guys may have felt like you were on your own. Many of you guys felt lost, and not knowing how your gifts work may have been something that really threw you off at the beginning. I do feel that some of you are going through this, and others of you have gone through this. So you kind of know what I'm talking about. Maybe some of you had started your spiritual journey with this. Like, I have a feeling that some of you, or all of you, will or are or have gone through this, where you experienced something kind of scary and you started doing your research, and that's how you were introduced to the spiritual world. in the 3D sense, right? How does it work? What does it look like? How do people deal with this? Like, I have a feeling that many of you guys went through many scary experiences. I guess you know how horror movies depict like spirituality of sorts. Like, I do feel that's kind of like the type of things that you guys went through before you stayed in a place of confidence, of being confident with how your gift works, being confident on how your life goes, and also integrating it into a healthy lifestyle. I do feel that some of you guys are going through that. Some of you guys have already mastered that, and you guys are just here. So yeah. So first question, what is the focus of your questions? So what do you usually use your divination powers for? We have the 5 of Wands, the Fool, and the Sun reverse. Let's see. With the 5 of Wands, conflict, competition, war, battle. Okay. So the thing that you usually ask about is when you have a problem or you are going through a difficult moment. Either you are, I feel that it's when you're in a moment of stress. Okay, one of the things, the first things that I'm seeing is like when you're starting a new journey with the Fool, it talks about a new beginning. And you feel that conflict of what to do, how to approach it, or there's other people involved with it, so you want to know what will be the best course of action. So with the 5 of Wands, again, lots of fights, arguments even, competition. And also I'm getting like a sense of like picking your battles as well, like fighting through a war of sorts. Because the first word I got when I saw the 5 of Wands was war. So when you're like preparing yourself for something new, you will usually ask about that. Like when you're starting a new journey or a new chapter in your life, you're like, I wonder how it will work out. I wonder what will happen. What is the best course of action? What is the thing that I should do? That's usually what you ask about when you're starting a new journey, when you're, I guess, going on a new path, or you're going through something that is a bit challenging or difficult. 5s in tarot usually talk about change and transformation, and butterflies also talk about change and transformation. So I have a feeling that one of the things that you usually ask about is, how are things changing? How am I going to change in this journey? Like, those are the things that you usually focus on. Like, your questions are usually concentrated on things that have been causing conflict. You want to know what the outcome will be or how to solve it, or you ask questions about new beginnings in your life. That's usually your questions. Now we have the Sun reversed. So the Sun, even if it's reversed, it's actually a very positive card to have in your reading. So I feel that this is the 5 of Wands talks about conflict and stuff, but the Sun reverse is talking about you being determined, fighting forward, going through your battles. The Sun here, we have Leo energy. With the Fool, we have, I believe, is Uranus energy. Anyways, that doesn't matter. What matters here is that you are someone, the Sun talks about the solar plexus that we talked about early. You're confident, you're optimistic, you have a pretty healthy inner child, so you follow your heart usually. You are pretty in tune with what you wanted to do since you were young, and you still go about it now. So the type of inquiries that you may have as well is when you feel like you're out of alignment. Like, what am I doing wrong? Why do I not feel satisfied with my path? Why do I feel lost? So usually when you feel lost, your questions come out during that time. Like, what am I not seeing? What am I missing? What will be the outcome of this? What do I need to do to overcome this conflict or this problem? Like, those are usually the questions that you ask. Now let's see. I want to take out one card. What are the guides that help you channel? Just an introduction. One card. We have the 4 of Swords. Again, the 4 of Swords it shows the image of someone that is sleeping, someone that is calmed down. Yeah, I think all tarot decks usually show the 4 of Wands the same way. It's usually like this guy, not a guy, but it's like a person that is laying on top of this box that is usually supposed to represent their coffin. But it's supposed to show someone that is sleeping, resting their mind and preparing it for battle again. So, I mean, I think I read somewhere. I think it's bdtarot.com. I think that's the name of it. I think when it was explaining the image, it's talking about, like, you know, there was, I don't know where I read it. It could have been there. That there was like this story that warriors will sleep on top of their graves in a form to mentally prepare for battle. So I guess coming to terms that it could be the last day in their lives, but at the same time powering themselves up to make sure that they continue to see the next day, the light of day. I don't know. So I do feel that the guides that you work with, again, they connect with you when you're resting, when you're asleep, when you're relaxed. So I think meditation can be very beneficial for you if you want to connect to your spiritual team at a time that is not when you sleep. So when you connect to your subconscious, meditate to calm your mind, calm yourself, and connect directly. So I think that's my advice on that. And yeah, the guides that usually work with you, they work with you when you're calm. These people are very calm themselves. They may show you like very chaotic and all over the top images, but they themselves are very calm guides. And anyway, so what is the way that you deliver your messages? Like, we have the Page of Cups through your creativity, the Seven of Cups, the Eight of Wands. So, you know what I got? You either write very quickly or you sketch very quickly whatever it is that you see or whatever it is that whatever messages you're getting. The image that I got, when, for people that are not too familiar with how to journal your dreams, when you start off, when you start off, it's a bit difficult to continue grasping onto that dream, because usually when people wake up, there will be times that the moment you wake up, you dreamt about something, but it's gone. So it takes a while to kind of train yourself to be able to remember enough of your dream. It's kind of like to grasp onto nothingness for long enough to be able to make it something. And in this case, it will be like writing down your dream, maybe drawing something that will remind you of your dream, or be able to remember enough of it to document it down, which I do feel that it will be beneficial for you guys. Now, I'm saying this because when I saw the Page of Cups, we talk about someone that is creative, someone that is entering into spirituality early. It is someone that has a very big imagination. Again, someone that is very creative, someone that is working with their emotions. And in this case, for you guys, it is someone that is barely getting into their subconscious and connecting to that side of themselves that they're not aware of. So putting that together with the Seven of Cups, I saw many options, many paths, many possibilities. That's usually what the Seven of Cups talks about, right? Now, with the Eight of Wands, we're talking about energy that goes very quickly. So I felt that many of you guys get spurs? Like, all of a sudden you get inspiration and you take advantage to it fully. You take it as far as it can get you. So if you woke up from a dream, you don't want to forget it. So you quickly open your notebook and start writing it down. Or if you're doing something and you get an image or a vision, you very quickly get out your notebook or something that you can draw on and maybe draw that image that you saw the best that you can. I got an image as well. I think, so there was this series that my sister and I watched on TV that was called Danny Who. I think it's a Mexican series based on how they were expressing themselves. But in it, one of the characters that was very aware of the gifts that all the girls had and that kind of knew what was going on in the world that they were in the series. She left behind a notebook, and in that notebook she had images, she had a lot of words, and she had ideas and documentation about the other characters in such a way that I feel that you guys may have as well. You guys may have a journal, or I will recommend you to start working on that journal so you can keep in mind the things that you're having, and kind of, I think for some of you, you will feel less crazy if you do that, because you will be able to, in a way, declutter everything that's going on in your mind and in your head, and you will be able to put it in a more concrete way. It feels more real if you speak it. It feels more real if you write it down. It stops being like this floaty ghost in your mind, and it becomes like an actual materialized thing when you draw it or write it down. So I do feel that many of you guys will benefit from that if you're starting off, and many of you guys may already be doing this already. So the way that you channel your messages is either drawn or written. That's kind of what I'm getting, and it's on the moment. So I do feel, for example, if you guys have a channel, or you guys I guess do what I'm doing, many of you guys may probably do your channeling through just speaking what you're getting at the moment that you're getting it. So if you're doing like channel messages, that's probably how you work. That it's very spontaneous, it's very on the spot, and it's like, I need to get out this information as quickly as possible before it goes away or before I lose that connection. So I do feel that many of you guys, based on the dreams, the sleep, the relaxation and stuff, many of you guys get connections from spirit or spiritual downloads in a very quick, spontaneous and ephemeral way. Like, you get it, you grasp it for a little bit, and then it's gone. So I do feel that if you guys want to connect deeper with your spiritual team and your higher self and stuff, I will recommend to meditate, to be able to relax your mind and be able to learn how to elongate those messages, those moments that you just connect instantly. Kind of like have like an autosave in your mind of sorts, if that makes sense. I guess if you play games, you'll get an idea of what I mean by autosave. So you have an autosave system. You don't have to do it manually by writing down your channeled messages. But pile number 2, I hope you guys liked this read. I hope you guys enjoyed it. With you guys, it was very, very interesting seeing, I guess, and also, I guess, seeing and feeling what you guys probably feel sometimes. I felt calmer when I started your reading compared to the previous pile. But seeing what you guys see, it's stuff that I myself don't find scary, but that's probably because I didn't experience this. So I hope that you guys are okay. I hope you guys are fine, and don't be afraid of the things that you see, because you're still protected and you're still taken care of. Again, you are working with someone that wants to see you be free, wants to see you make your own decisions. So if you see this stuff and it kind of scares you and you don't want to see it, I do feel that you may want to connect to your spiritual team and kind of tell them, help me navigate this, or help me see this for what it really is, or, you know, kind of like have like this connection with your spiritual team so you feel safe when you're seeing these things. Because I do feel that with some of you guys, you will continue seeing this, so you might as well learn how to protect yourself, and you might as well learn how to navigate some of these things that can be a bit scary. So yeah, I hope you guys like this reading. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you were able to learn something from this. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one, whenever that is, however that is. Love and healing from my part to you, and bye. Hello, Pile 3. Welcome to your reading, or for those of you that picked the Chrysocolla. Again, I hope I'm saying that right. So we have number 22, which could be a number significant for you. And we have Virgo energy right here. So you could be a Virgo, or your spiritual gifts are very healing to others. So here we have some of the keywords that I wrote down. We have that the crystal calms, cleanses, and re-energizes all the chakras, draws out guilt, heals heartache, and increases love capacity. It improves communication and opens psychic vision, encourages self-awareness and inner balance, and it focuses on the throat chakra. And we have spiritual and sadness as being like the main traits that this card is showing. So right off the bat, you guys are people that probably talk a lot, you channel a lot. You're probably someone that gives a lot of advice here with all the green. Your heart chakra is also very open, meaning that you do a lot of healing, a lot of self-love, and trying to help others to allow themselves to love more. I guess that's the best way I can describe it. We did have here like an increase of love capacity, which I thought that was a very interesting way of putting it. But I think this is supposed to show just someone that makes more room for love, someone that makes room for healing, someone that makes room to allow for more positivity to come into their life. So in a way, it's cleansing the energy. In a way, is allowing yourself to just heal, allowing yourself or helping others heal themselves. And it's kind of like giving yourself permission to be happy, giving yourself permission to love, give yourself permission to not feel guilt. So in a way, release negativity. Now let's see, maybe a guide that helps you with this. We have Sakya with the Angel of Mercy. Here we have a blue flame. Well, it's more like green, but I don't know why blue flame was important. I think Less of the Film has a song called Blue Flame. I have no clue what that song is about, but it might be important for you. We have a sword right here. It makes me think of the Justice card. And I have a feeling I've talked about this before, or I mentioned this. Here we have like energy coming out of the head of this, I guess, of this figure. So that makes me think that you guys are connected a lot constantly. We do have green and yellow, so there's this sense of being connected with your heart chakra and being connected with your solar plexus. So like there's this sense of being genuine, being honest, being sincere, being truthful, some like words that come from the heart, messages, channels. Your channeling comes from a very pure place, very genuine energy. There is this sense of trying to help people understand themselves better, trying to have a sense of balance, a self of understanding. There's again the Justice card keeps appearing, so there is a sense of helping people understand the pros and cons of their situation, what's working, what is not working, being able to see different sides, different perspectives. And with this sword, there's this sense of you guys are very honest and you say the truth when it comes to your messages, what you feel, your advice, what you're hearing. However, you're also someone that, I guess, you're very honest with your messages. So sometimes it can be painful, but it's the truth. So I feel that that's how you put people out of their misery. It's like you give them truth. You give them honesty. You help people see what they cannot see. And I do feel that you do this because this is what your guides do with you. With Sakiel, I have a feeling that one of the guides that's working with you is someone that gives you the brutal truth. They give you the information with all the love in the world. You understand it, you know it, but it can be painful. You understand that truth can be hard, like a hard pill to swallow. It can be hard messages to accept, but at the end of the day, they're very helpful because it really clears the air. It really makes things better. It's like you understand how that works and you go by that method because that's just how your higher self and your spiritual team treats you. Here we have outer core with a keyword fluidity. We have number 17. Oh, by the way, right now that I was going to mention that before I started your reading, I was singing "Start of Something New," which is from High School Musical. I was listening to it earlier. I was like, this song has been bothering me for days. So I listened to it and I was like, oh, okay. Did I get a message? I guess new beginnings and being at the right place at the right time. That's kind of what I got. That's the message that I got from that. Anyway, so your Santa Muerte Oracle, the card that you got is number 17 with the word shadow. So let me read to you what this is. We have the level of formation begin. Oh my god, give me a second. So this is the first card of the world of formations. So, okay. The level of formation begins with shadow, as if in reflection of what comes from above, from the darkness, card number 1. The shadow represents our occult unconscious, that which silently suggests, that we do not perceive and do not know how to listen to, but that inevitable influence our thoughts, our emotions, and then, on the material plane, our actions. When we are not acquainted with it, we project it externally as a negative component. Thus, we can do nothing but see in binary terms of good and evil, white and black. The advice of the dead: it is important to start analyzing yourself to gain greater awareness of yourself and your relationship to others. Otherwise, it will be impossible to change and evolve. So, with this card, with the shadow, the way that you channel comes from a place that other people do not want to see. It is a perspective that many people don't see themselves. And this shadow tells me that you're very connected with shadow work. You are familiar with it. You do it all the time. You come from it constantly. So you're going through transformations all the time. You are growing and developing as a person all the time as well. And with this outer core and fluidity, it's like on the outside world, people will see you as someone that is very put together, someone that has their ducks in a row, someone that has their shit together. So people see you as someone that has no problems, no struggles in the world, but that's because they're seeing the version of yourself that has already healed. They see the version of yourself that has already been worked on. They don't see all the shadow work that you do constantly and the transformations that you're going through, again, constantly to become the person that you are today. You're very wise and knowledgeable because of the past experiences you have had, and I do feel that that has been all very important to help heal other people. Now, oh, I have not seen this card. Nice. So the card that you got from the Wisdom Oracle is Deep Knowing Reverse, which the reversal of these cards do have a different meaning, and I will read it to you since those tend to be shorter, so I don't mind reading that. You guys might like to read since I've been reading constantly for you in your pile. So with Deep Knowing Reverse, the protection message is you are in empathy overload and need to get grounded again. So tune out for a bit. Hypersensitive. Hold up, my eye is itchy. Hypersensitive. You're suffering from psychic exhaustion. This signals a time for recharging of your batteries. Set energetic boundaries. Take a salt bath. Empty your mind and get back to you. It's not a time to be open. Soon enough, you can let your guard down. Right now, you need self-care and self-love. It's time to say no thank you to anyone in your life who exhausts you. Won't that feel good? And my right eye is burning. You know, like when your eyes, it's kind of dirty. So then when you start tearing up, it starts burning because it's cleaning. And I find it hilarious that I started going that with your pile and not with the previous ones. You guys are people that have your heart on your sleeve. You are someone that walks forward and you're a very honest person. You feel honesty is the best way to go about your life, and you put your heart out there first. You have a lot of mercy for people, so your tolerance for other people's bullshit is out the roof. Like, you deal with a lot of people and their issues. You may be the person that's constantly listening to what other people are going through, and I think you're just learning how to set boundaries right now. I feel that seeing how this card took its time to come out and how we saw everything previously, you are someone that has gone through a lot of hardships, and because of that, you are a very kind soul that wants to help everyone that crosses your path. You are someone that wants to give the benefit of the doubt to others. You are an individual that wants to make sure everyone feels comfortable, feels understood, feels heard, and you want to be there for them. You want to give your heart, give your love, and make sure that these people that you're encountering that may need it get the help that is necessary. When someone wrongs you, this angel of mercy not only shows that you give the truth to people and you can be heartless, not heartless, but it can come off as a bit sharp and cold to others, but you mean it. It comes from a good place with you, right? Your harsh words come from a place of, I want you to improve in your life. I want you to grow. I want you to transform in the best version of yourself. So that is kind of like your mission, even if you don't know it. But the angel of mercy kind of tells me that you also are a very forgiving person. So when someone's going through it, you could end up making up a lot of excuses as to why you should forgive them, as to why you should go easy on them. And I do feel that right now, that's one of the things that you're learning. Boundaries. You're learning how to prioritize yourself. You're learning how to also boundaries with your spiritual healing. I feel that some of you guys may not even be aware of this, because I feel that some of you guys are very good at putting boundaries with people in the physical realm, but some of you are not that good at putting boundaries in the spiritual realm. So what I mean by that is that if you get constant spiritual downloads, sometimes all you have to say to the spiritual team is like, dude, give me a break. Like, sometimes you just have to like disconnect and be like, right now, I will connect to my spiritual team, but right now, don't even give me messages. I'm overwhelmed. I'm like exhausted, and you just close the channels, which, to be completely honest, I have done so before. Sometimes when I feel very overwhelmed and I feel like I'm giving too much to contain the connections with the soul family, or trying to make sure that everyone's okay, making sure everyone's protected, sometimes I'll be a bit exhausted, and I will kind of just close those channels and be like, no, don't even talk to me. It's kind of like the same way as like you have someone in front of you and they're bothering you, and you just kind of go like, you know what, shut up, leave me alone. So you kind of do that with your spiritual team as well, and you just kind of go like, I feel overwhelmed, I should focus on myself, I don't want more messages, leave me alone. And I mean, of course you can always open that channel again. It's just that you just need some time to like process your own issues and try to make sure that you're focusing energy on yourself instead of constantly giving it off to others. So Yeah, I think that's what you're going with right now. So let's see. What is the focus of your inquiries? What do you usually ask about? What is usually your focus? We have the Devil reverse. You have the Ten of Wands reverse and the Two of Swords reverse. You usually ask how to get rid of your burdens. You ask for clarity. With the Devil reverse, you usually ask for clarity when you feel trapped, when you feel cornered, or when you feel pressured and trapped. I guess that's the best way I can describe it. So with the Devil reverse, it kind of shows like when you feel like you're under the illusion of something, like you're trapped, you can't go anywhere. When I usually see the Devil as society, I always mention this. To me, the Devil is external energies that influence who you are as a person in a way that may trap you. So I guess labels could be one of them as well. But with the Devil reverse here, I was thinking that you usually ask when you feel trapped. You usually ask questions to get clarity. You usually connect to your spiritual team to understand what you're going through and understand how to get out of it, how to be free again, how to be yourself again. And also with the Ten of Wands reverse, it kind of shows that you usually ask questions on how to alleviate your burdens, how to get rid of problems, how to overcome obstacles and issues. When you feel that there's a lot of responsibilities, a lot of things that you have to do, like I feel that some of you guys, when you feel overwhelmed with work or when you feel overwhelmed with people, or even connecting this to the Two of Swords, when you feel like you don't have options, when you feel like you can't see what other paths are out there and how to get out of a situation, usually your questions boil down to that. How can I get out of this situation? What is it that I'm not seeing? How, I feel trapped. How can I get out of here? Or stuff along those lines. Like you're always asking for freedom. You're asking for liberty. You're asking for options, paths, and opportunities that you are just not seeing. So with all of these cards here, your questions tend to usually be about those things. And feel free to comment down below if that is true. I would love to hear that. I will love the confirmation. There you go. And let's see just one card to see what type of guides help you with your channeling. We have the Queen of Pentacles reverse. Right now, the type of, how should I put it, the guide that is currently helping you is helping you with your self-love, self-care, and helping you prioritize yourself. Like this is the main message coming through. Because the Queen of Pentacles, when it's upright, it talks about someone that is, I'm thinking of the image of the tree that appears in the shadowscapes. Some of you may be familiar with it, but in that card it just shows like a woman that is inside of a tree, like the tree and her are one. And usually when the Queen of Pentacles is reversed, okay, when it's upright, it talks about someone that's very generous, a gift giver, someone that's loving others, someone that has the financial and the material means to help and provide for other people. However, when it's reversed, all of that energy, it's directed to you being the viewer. So with the Queen of Wands reverse, it feels like right now your guides, it's like whoever's helping you channel is someone that's trying to help you notice how to help yourself, how to prioritize yourself, how to make room for you, how to work on yourself in a way where you don't, like you can channel for others, you can work with others, but not at the expense of yourself. Right now, the guides that are with you are working with you to focus on you and you only. It's like you can only give to others when you yourself are doing okay. Don't constantly exhaust your resources on others and just lie to yourself and say everything's okay, I'm doing fine, right? How should I put it? I feel like some of you guys have suffered so much in the past that you have not really gotten out of that mentality. And because of that, you're constantly giving to other people and you're like, I can handle these burdens, I can handle these difficulties. But the universe is telling you, you don't have to go through that and you don't have to continue putting yourself in that position. So you're working right now with guides that are helping you focus on yourself. But to end up this reading, let's see what is the way that you usually deliver your channel messages. We have the Knight of Wands, the Nine of Cups reverse. So through adventures, the Nine of Pentacles upright. So the way that your messages are usually, I'm getting a lot of like work. So maybe your work environment is kind of poopy right now. It's like, ugh. But the Knight of Wands, I'm getting adventures, travel. So you may like to travel, or when you're on vacation, that's usually when your messages get delivered. There is a chance that when foreign things come your way, so either you're listening to foreign music or you're going to a foreign country, or even if you don't go outside of your country but you leave your normal space, like the the place that you frequent in your life, and you start going to other places that you're not familiar with, that, you know, that is like a foreign experience of sorts. So this Knight of Wands is kind of showing that your messages usually get channeled through the information and the, I guess, behavior or experiences you get when you jump into the unknown. The Knight of Wands talks about Sagittarius energy, so it's, again, experiencing new things. You start seeing these new perspectives, these new ways of seeing the world, and it definitely starts helping you with the way that you see your current world. You start comparing, like, oh, these other people do this, why, how can I apply that to my life, or why don't I do that? The Nine of Cups reverse usually talks about someone that doesn't feel satisfied, or someone that doesn't feel like their dreams can come true. Again, this talks about emotional satisfaction. So I feel that many of you get your messages channeled when you start comparing, why is it that I don't feel satisfied, what is it that I'm missing, what is it that I am not, why is it that I don't feel fulfilled, or why do I feel like my dreams are not coming true. So I do feel that this Nine of Cups reverse is kind of showing that when you emotionally feel empty despite being successfully in the physical world doing great, because the Nine of Pentacles upright usually talks about someone that is financially independent, someone that has a good grasp of how their money works and how their career is doing. This is someone that's doing very well off for themselves. So you have all of your needs met, but despite of that, there is a sense within you that feels unsatisfied, and that's the emotional aspect. So that's usually when you start noticing that your heart needs a little bit of love, a little bit of care. This is when you notice that you need to spoil yourself. You need to spoil yourself a bit more, and that you need to prioritize yourself, because it's like all of your needs are met. You don't have to worry about survival. So then why is it that something is still missing in your life? And that's when you start noticing the self-love and self-care that you have to do. You know, again, the whole thing of like the Chrysocolla card was talking about, you know, making room for self-love, protecting yourself from psychic attacks of sorts, making sure you get rid of guilt and heartache. Is like, don't feel guilty for not having the time or mental space to help others. It's like, help yourself first. Feel no guilt, no remorse. Just work on yourself. Make room for you. Make room to love yourself. Make room to take care of yourself and prioritize yourself. Make room for you, and you will be naturally have room for others. And so don't worry about it. So yeah, what else? So hold up, I got distracted. I was getting a little bit more preachy, and I got distracted. So the way that you deliver your messages, when you notice that something's missing in your life, that's when messages come through. That's when you start noticing them. The Knight of Wands is usually by kind of connecting to things that are new to you, so new experiences. And I feel that when you go on vacation and you have enough time to think about yourself, and you start thinking, what is it that I'm missing, what is it that I'm not satisfied with in life, I have everything I need, what is it that I want? And again, you start noticing what's like the gaps in your life, and that's when you start getting those channeled messages of like how you can fix that, how you can work through that. But yeah, pile number 3, I hope you guys liked your reading. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Feel free to shed some tears if you need to, because that is cleansing the soul for sure. I'm saying that because my eye was burning. So maybe some of you guys needed to cry to let go of that burden and that, I guess, responsibility that was weighing down on your shoulders. So feel free to let go of that, so that you kind of build yourself up. Remember to prioritize yourself. The first step to doing that is by telling people no, by not allowing other people to bring you down with their poopy energy. It's like, if someone's coming in and they come in with like, I had a horrible day, be like, nah honey, I'm not listening to your shit today. Like, just kind of like push into the back and be like, no, please do not bother me. Or like, you could definitely listen and not process any of that information, or you could listen, process, but still be like, okay, but that is your problem, it is not mine, and kind of like return that energy, like, whoosh. Just let go of that energy. Don't stick with it. It's not yours. Don't bother with it. Just send some blessings their way and be like, I hope that you get your shit together, because I'm getting mine together. So I have no room or time for you. And then just go your way. Do your own thing. Prioritize yourself. Heal yourself. Protect yourself. care for yourself. You. This reading is all about like take care of you and you only. There is a lot of green in your reading, so there might be this whole thing of like speak your truth and heal your heart. So yeah, pile 3. I hope you like your reading. I hope you learned from it or that you enjoyed it at least. And I'll see you on the next one, whenever that is, however that is. Thank you so much for watching, and love and healing from my part to you. Bye. Hello, pile 4. Welcome to your reading, or for those of you that picked the Amber Stone, we have number 41, so that could be important for you. Now, let me read to you some of the channel messages. Okay, they're not really channel. This is me doing research about the Amber Stone. So we have the Sacral Chakra, as we have right here. We have Pretty Balanced Traits, and this is an Aquarius card. So you could be an Aquarius, or Aquarius could be important energy for you. So some of the research that I did, very quickly, just Google the Amber Stone and see what I got, was used to, so Amber Stone is used to improve memory, increase mental flexibility, and create balanced decision making. So definitely feels like there's some mental energy right here, some intellectuals here, some of your channeling or your message could be usually used to help you make decisions. Here we also have that amber is used for courage and self-confidence. It is believed to bring good luck to warriors in battle because it aligns the body, the mind, and the spirit. And it is fossilized tree resin. So it's not really a stone, or I guess okay, no. We're not about to get into like technicalities of like this, define stone, define crystals. We're not about to get into that, Let me just deal with the limitations of the language and just bear with the fact that we may not even agree with some things, okay? In this case, what I'm trying to say is like, let's not even bother with that. I say as I continue talking about it. Anyway, so the type of spirituality that you guys have is usually used for self-alignment, to connect your mind, body, and soul, trying to be both present and connected to your higher self and your spiritual team. Seems like you usually use your spirituality in making decisions in your life. So either to gather information or to see beyond what the physical world can give you. Now let's look at a potential guide. Here we have Suchalf. Bro, I hope I said that right. We have the Angel of Burdency. Too many words that I'm like, I have no clue if I'm saying them right. But here we have an energy of of guidance. I do feel that the type of divination that you do could be to help you ground yourself, or to help you connect to earth a bit more. And maybe your form of divination could not necessarily be tarot, but it could just be like using nature. So who was it? I think I saw once that someone was doing readings with bones. They're all the same person. Someone was doing readings with like rose petals. So, maybe you do that. I did know that this was a thing, because hydromancy, I saw that in Genshin. Apparently that's a thing, using water as a form of divination. I guess you guys could use ruins as well, but something that is a bit more earthy. So I guess you guys could do some spell work as well. Like you set intentions as you're planting something, or as you're making your food, or something along those lines. Like there's something that is very physical about your form of spirituality. Now this is not really my form of spirituality, so I can't really tell you what people do, but I just know that those are some things that could connect to nature and stuff. My form of spirituality is very like untangible. It's like, I guess it's like if you had the stars and you're constantly like talking to nothing and everything at once. Like I think I'm okay with not having physical anything as my form of connection. So I can't really tell you what something like connected to nature would be like, because that's not really my strength. But also with the Angel of Burdency, I do feel that your intuition is abundant. It is very connected to your root chakra, or connected to the physical world. It is one that brings you a lot of internal peace, satisfaction, abundance, knowing. And there's like, you get guidance through nature. So maybe if a butterfly passes by, you get a message. You may be able to communicate with animals very well, or you get communication through animals. The other card that we have right here is water with the keyword creation. So yeah, again, hydromancy, is that what it's called? Maybe you guys are good with that again, or you are someone that is very in tune. You could be a water sign, because even though Aquarius is an air sign, it is the water barrier. So some of you guys may feel very connected to water. You guys may like to go to the beach. You may like to swim, or you really like the sound of water. So maybe even the sound of rain could be important. I said that and all of a sudden I was like singing rainism. No. Are you a really, really bad boy? Okay, no, that sounds like I'm singing Red Velvet. I need to chill. I need to calm down. So I do feel that you may have gotten oh my god. Let me get my thoughts together. You may have ancestors as also a main source of communication. Hold up, give me a second. What was the word? Like, the energies that you connect to get your messages could be your ancestors, and I think you're aware of that. Like, you could have had like an elder, like a grandma or a grandpa, that give you a lot of the knowledge that you have today. You may constantly be connecting to them even if they have already passed away, or there are people in your present life that you still connect to get information. Like, maybe there's traditions. Again, I'm like, after I got over my silliness, I was able to connect and channel like crazy again. Like, you may have someone in your family that taught you of a tradition. Like, what am I getting? Like, I remember I read once that there's this I don't know what culture it was, but it was it was part of their culture to kind of work with plants and be able to make teas and food with it. I think it was mainly teas. They were like, oh, how do you know which plants to use when you have this sickness or that sickness, right? And it's like, with time you will just know. So all I'm saying is that you could have some family traditions that you have like taking with you, and this could be, I guess it could show that it just comes naturally to you to be into divination and stuff. So let's check out your next card pile 4. If it seems like everything's a bit different, is because, well, I took a little break. So the Santa Muerte Oracle card that you have is number 22, which that number could be important. Let's see what this card is all about. So I'm going to read from the booklet, and then we're going to interpret the message. So right here we have intellect. I guess I should have guessed. There's books in the background. So intellect, and here we have the archetype of order, which is number 6, and seems like it's another card in the deck. Seen by the 6 card, can be expressed on the formation plane by human intellect. Here is the bright place. It could be a bright place. Here is the birthplace of language, the world of ideas, knowledge, where communication takes place and culture is generated. Generated. The intellect, much like the soul, referred to the god. Oh my goodness, say me Klantecutli, which is number 10. Can. So yeah, with its cutting action, analyze, fragment, then recompose in form of final syntheses. Oh, I think I read this before. It directs and controls, but for this very reason, it can become an obstacle for expansion and dynamism. The advice of the dead. Put instinct aside for the moment and analyze the situation you are in irrationally? Bro, I'll do my best to interpret this message. So, with this intellect card, it definitely feels like the knowledge that you have is based on what other people have said, based on, as I mentioned earlier with your previous cards, traditions from your family or from your culture. So these are things that you could actually look up, as in like research. These are people. This is information that you could definitely read from a book, or maybe even journal entries or diaries. With this intellect card, there is a sense of gathering more knowledge in order to fully understand your spiritual gifts. I do feel that for you, pile 4, there is a sense of reading a lot, gathering knowledge in a more physical 3D world. So this may go a little bit, it feels like getting information. So I guess trying to create a foundation based on what other conventions are, on what people have generally agreed something is, and how it works and how it functions. I guess one example I could give is like if you're doing tarot, one of the advices the advices. The advice that you may be getting right now is that it will be a good idea to start researching in more detail the symbolism within the cards, or how the cards are being interpreted by other people or something. So like that, you can continue expanding your knowledge and go beyond what you already know and what you already grew up with. It definitely feels like life wants you to expand your knowledge and be able to become more of a problem solver by combining what you already know with what you could continue learning. There is a chance that what you already know is like a stepping stone to what you can continue learning in the future. And what I mean by a stepping stone is like, I have a feeling that you are in a place right now where you have terms, you know of things, you have a big knowledge about different concepts and ideas. It's like you're a tree and you have branches that are barely growing, so you have like that term that you can continue expanding and learning from if you nourish that part of yourself. So learning is important. Here we have the card of soulmates. So yeah, this could be about love, but I do feel that this could be generally just unions. And we have number 41 repeated twice. So maybe at the age of 41, this could be important. Or April 1st could be important. January 4 could be an important date as well. The number 5 could be significant for you because 4 plus 1 is 5. So transformations are very significant when you connect with people. I did mention that you could have like an ancestor or like a grandma or a grandpa that guided you a lot through like the spiritual process and may have been like your foundation for your current knowledge of it. So I do have a feeling that with the soulmate cards, it is part of your journey, or it's part of your life path to meet a lot of people that will continue expanding your knowledge of it. May it be through their information, through their advice, through their own experiences. You will just learn from them naturally. I do feel that the best way that you could also learn or continue harnessing your spiritual abilities is by having like this one-on-one closely knit connections with other people. So people that feel like soulmates, in the sense of like people that you closely resonate with, and people that usually have like a soul contract to help you out in one shape or form. Usually soulmates have a good connotation, meaning that this is probably a connection that will bring you a lot of benefit and a lot of growth. It doesn't necessarily have to be all like bubbles and fluffy clouds and like happiness and everything, right? You can have a soulmate that still brings you a lot of growth and benefit, even if they're not necessarily like the closest person, even if it's not love related in like a romantic sense. It could be family, it could be friends, or it could be someone that stays for a very long time, or someone that stays for a very short time. But whatever the reason may be, you will learn from them. So I do feel that this kind of shows that you are someone that works very well with other people, and you gather a lot of knowledge from other people's experiences and from other people's, I guess, knowledge as well, right? Now let's answer your next questions with the tarot cards that we have here. I have to move stuff so I can see which questions I wrote. So the first question is like, what's usually the main focus of your inquiries or your questions? The first card that came out is the 9 of Swords reverse, then the Empress reverse, I guess that's the second card that came out, and the Knight of Swords upright. So it seems like when you feel powerless with the Empress reverse, or when you feel like you're doing things and your manifestations are not coming out, or your abundance seems a bit stagnant, or there's something that you're working on and it's not flourishing the way that you wish it would, so you feel a bit stagnant, that's usually what your questions are about. You're asking, how can I make things better? How can I expand? How can I grow? How can I make my dreams come true? How can I feel abundant? How can I feel confident? With this 9 of Swords reverse is that you usually ask questions as to how to de-stress, how to get out of, again, a stagnant moment in your life, or when you feel a bit overwhelmed. You ask questions usually to see how you can get yourself out of that mentality, because the 9 of Swords usually talks about someone that feels stress, that may be having nightmares, someone that has a lot going on in their mind, so it could be a bit of overwhelming overthinking basically. So with it being reversed and the Empress being reversed, it kind of shows that you usually connect. When you ask questions, is usually to get you out of a rut or get you out of some stagnant period, or when you feel like you're not abundant. With the Knight of Swords upright, it kind of shows that usually you do this so you can figure out your next action. What is the next step into your life? What is the next step into getting yourself out of this situation that stresses you out? Or you usually ask questions and like, oh, what will be a good idea to do now? What is a good plan? What is the best course of action to this problem that I have? So you're usually asking what direction to go. So your inquiries could be about guidance in what path, what journey will be good, how to go about it, what actions to take towards making your dreams come true, and kind of get you out of this energy that might be a bit stressful, energy that could put you down a little bit, energy that could kind of be hitting your confidence sometimes, because the Empress does, when it's upright, it talks about someone that's very confident, someone that feels beautiful, someone that feels good about themselves. And yeah, with the Knight of Swords, we have Gemini energy, so you may also frequently talk to your guides and your spiritual team and your higher self, that you probably communicate with them quite a lot. But let's see. Oh, okay. So the type of guides that usually help you channel, we have the Six of Wands reversed and the King of Wands upright. So you have someone that has a very fiery energy, someone that's usually hyping you up. With the Six of Wands reversed, it feels like your guides usually come through when they want to hype you up and help you with your achievements. Like, your spiritual team is your best cheerleader in life right now. When you are not able to hype yourself up, and when you're finding it very difficult to get motivated again to work, this is when your spiritual team comes in. They come in to try to hype you up. They remind you and give you credit for the hard work that you've put into life. They're the type of people, your guides usually, the type of guides that work with you are the ones that are there to hype you up and remind you of your achievements, of your accomplishments, of all the hardships that you've overcome and all the obstacles you've overcome as well. With this King of Wands, it kind of shows this is Aries energy, so this could be a masculine energy, or someone that is very fired up, someone that's very spontaneous, someone, well, not someone, I guess it's an energy. You have a guide that usually helps you channel through a very fiery energy, so you probably feel very warm and comfortable inside. You all of a sudden you feel very energetic when you connect, because this guide that is usually helping you is full of energy. It's ready to hype you up, it's ready to motivate you to continue forward and energize you to take action towards your dreams, because again, this is Aries energy with this King of Wands. It is someone that is helping you take action and analyze the situation analyze it enough to start taking action. It's like, what's stopping you? I got you. I'm gonna help you figure that out. That's usually how your guides approach your conflicts. But let's go on to the last question. It is, what is the way that you usually deliver your messages? We have the Eight of Pentacles reversed, the High Priestess, and the Nine of Wands upright. Okay, so usually your messages come through, again, they're usually delivered to you either when you're relaxing, when you are taking a break from a very long day of work, or a very long, hard, what is the word I'm looking for? When you have like a tough day at work, maybe in your career or like a project you're working on, that's usually when you take that break, maybe 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes, to kind of like take a step back from what you're doing after you've been focused for a very long time. That's when you naturally just connect. You connect, and that's when your spiritual team comes through and kind of give you this motivation. So like, if all of a sudden you feel motivated, even though you've been very tired and you've been working for a very long time, that's usually your spiritual team coming through to help you out and kind of give you that last little push so you don't give up on your work. The High Priestess kind of shows that you are someone that naturally connects, and it's very easy, very spontaneous, and it goes through very quickly, and it just flows. So you just kind of get the messages. But I guess the best way I can describe on how you get your messages, it's not necessarily written. It's kind of like that, like the voice that motivates you subconsciously, and it's something that your messages usually come through action. So you're doing something, and all of a sudden you feel like doing you feel like continuing something that you almost felt like giving up, but like your body is like exhausted, and all of a sudden you get motivated to do something. That's kind of like the way that you usually channel your messages. You just feel energized again and you continue working. So, or all of a sudden you feel motivated again to continue working as well. So I think that's the best way I can describe as to how you usually deliver your messages, through just taking action and not giving up. Yeah, that's the best way I can describe it. But pile number 4, I hope you liked your reading. I hope you enjoyed it. I wonder if some of you guys are also students based on what you got with like hard work. I mean, the 8 of Pentacles could describe someone that is a student or someone that's working very hard on their project. I do feel that some of you guys could be very young, or you're remembering how you started your spiritual journey. But I feel that some of you guys may be a bit more aware of what you're doing spiritually now, and you're going back to like remembering like, oh, so without even knowing, I was already like tapping into my spiritual gifts, into my psychic gifts, and you're putting like words to actions in the sense of, if there's something you did in your culture when you were young, a tradition in your family, all of a sudden you're like, oh, so this is what we're doing. And like all of a sudden you're realizing and going like, I was manifesting without even knowing. I was going with words of affirmation and I didn't even realize, So you're just basically putting words and I guess labeling things that you did and going like, oh, so that's what that was. And that will help you. These new terms will help you do more research and continue expanding on your knowledge. So pile number 4, I hope I was able to also help you with some knowledge with, you heard this, and I hope I'm able to guide you with more terms you could research and continue expanding on. I hope you continue with your knowledge and have a better idea of how people see some of this spiritual stuff and how they work with it and how they do it, and that you continue with your journey. I think you're doing a pretty good job right now. So remember that you should also celebrate yourself, since that's something that your spiritual team was kind of coming through with. Don't give up. Continue with your hard work, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you so much for watching Pile 4. Love and healing from my part to you, and bye. Hello Pile 5, welcome to your reading, or for those of you that picked the Larimar, I still don't really know how to say it. Maybe I should have searched it up. I do not know. But one thing that I do know, when I was researching about this stone, I remember thinking I need to call out all of my Latin American people out there, because apparently this stone, in this color specifically, like this bluish color, it is usually or mainly found in Dominican Republic. So I was like, I have to say something, Anyway, so some of the notes that I took while I was researching for this stone is that it's a rare blue. So it's not that common for it to be this blue. The chakras that it mainly works on or it affects is the heart chakra, the throat, and the third eye, as well as the crown. So, I mean, that's 4 out of the 7 main ones that we usually talk about in, I guess, spirituality. So we have vitality, spiritual, and it also helps with sadness. It helps with healing and enlightenment, and also with stress-related imbalances, general anxiety, and panic attacks. So this is a stone that will help with cleansing, and it is a very heartwarming stone of sorts. I guess that's the best way I can describe it, in the sense of like it's a gentle cleansing stone that you can use. It is, I guess you could think of the ocean and the sea, since it does have the word mar in it. This is one that can definitely help you connect with your spirituality. We do have the third eye in this card, so I do feel that many of you could use this stone, or many of you are working on getting clarity in your life. And we have the Leo symbol right here, so that kind of shows that many of you may be working on your self-confidence, self-love, and for whatever reason, I just saw the word passion. So you may be working on trying to find what you're passionate about in life and trying to kind of reconnect to what life is all about. Oh, I didn't even realize you got these cards. Okay, so I just picked one card from Image Oracle deck, so the fact that there's more tells me we have some talking to do. So these 2 cards are going to tell me what are some of the guides that usually help you with your spirituality. We have Raziel with Angel of Mysteries, and we have Uriel with the Angel of Flame. Nice. So I'm getting a sense of like air and fire. So that's pretty strong masculine energy. We do have fire with Leo as well. So with the Angel of Mysteries, it seems like some of the spirit guides that usually work with you are people that are always helping you with the unknown, people that are constantly guiding you when you feel lost and when you are doing your own shadow work. Here, to me, the wings have always looked like it was made out of paper. And, when I think of paper, I usually think of like scholars, or I think of people that are writing down whatever it is that they're learning. You know, I think of basically like schooling, I guess. So I do feel that you have someone that works with you in a very sneaky way, meaning that this person doesn't really reveal much about their own energy, and they only come in to help you out when you really need it. They may kind of introduce new topics to you, but they don't really stay for too long because they're just kind of like, it's like a silent energy that helps you out when you need it and is always there for you, but it's just watching to see what you have to do. On the contrary, you have also another energy with the Angel of Flame that is super passionate and is super active and probably talks to you quite a lot and is very present. It is probably a bit of an overbearing energy in the sense that you feel it constantly and all the time. You recognize it right away. And this is probably an energy that's a bit more hands-on. So you may get more information from this energy. It's an energy that feels warm. It's very flashy as well. So it's quite loud. It's louder than this other energy. I mean, you have like a silent one that is like this rock almost that stabilizes you and grounds you and is slowly pushing you out of your comfort zone. And then you have this other one that instead of pushing you slowly out of your comfort zone, it will throw you into the unknown. It's like, let's figure it out. Let's go on this adventure. Let's see what's going on here and just grow and expand. Now, the other two cards that we have right here, we have Bushfires with the keyword Fury, and we have Sun with the keyword Light. So there's a lot of fire with you guys. So, I see. So, we have Leo, which is ruled by the sun. We have the Angel of Flame, which makes me think of fire. And then we have the sun and bushfire. So both of these cards are fire elements, I guess you could say. So this kind of tells me that you're a very, even if you could be very vocal, you could be very flashy, you may love the spotlight, but there's something like your energy is as big as the sun. I do know of some, I guess, spirit guides that feel like that. Like their energy, the moment it enters, it fills up the whole space. Even if it's like this infinite, endless void, they fill it all up. Like they just kind of enter and you just know you're in their energy, right? It's kind of like, I guess the best way I can describe it is if you have a candle. I have a candle in front of me, by the way. It's like if you had a candle, right? And there is a flame right here, but the glow reaches beyond where the flame is actually coming from. So I do feel that you yourself, as well as the spirit guides that work with you, have this energy that fills up the whole room. It is an energy that people can feel as soon as you enter a room. People feel your energy and may be a bit overwhelmed. So don't take it too hard. Some people are ready to fight you even though you have not even spoken a word and you have not even looked their way. Some people are going to be ready to fight you the moment you enter a room because of how like big your energy is. I do feel like you could be quite chaotic in the sense of you may be very vocal about things that you don't like and things that you do like. So that could create some problems and issues, but you're not afraid. You're like, why will I keep it in and not say something about it if it could be solved if I speak up? So you just do. I do feel that you may have very good memory about the things that you experience. I'm getting this sense of which card is it? I think it's the Phoenix card in the Wild Unknown. And that one is the root chakra. However, it talks about how fire can be very healing, right? So I'm thinking of a phoenix transformation, right? A death and rebirth type of cycle. It's like the end of something and the beginning of something. Healing with fire and guidance with flames and fires. I do feel that many of you may be very attracted or feel very inclined to use candles when you connect, or you really like the smell of a campfire or coal. So like maybe you enjoy grilling food with your family and you really like that smell, the smoky smell. It probably brings you some comfort. Oh, you know what I'm getting? This sense of you're a very passionate person. I did talk about that because I saw the word passion when I was looking at this card. So you're a very, very passionate person. We do have like a bunch of fire right here. So I do feel that you also get epiphanies like out of nowhere. Like you just get like boom, like flares of knowledge, and it's insane. Oh, I don't remember how to say this card. However, I know I've gotten it before because I do remember something about eating the stars in the sky. Um, but I'll read it from the book. So this is from the Santa Muerte Oracle deck, and number 11, which is the card that you have right here, which 11 could be an important number for you. So we have, oh, you know what? There was a card that talked about number 11. I don't know which pile it was, but it was in the previous ones. So number 11, we have Mikte Ka Si Walt. No, Walt. Oh my goodness. Anyway, I have to say the name again. Mikte Kasi Walt is the queen of the dead and the afterlife, responsible for memory as a whole and individual memories. She represents the principle of synthesis and aggregation of bodies and matter, complementary to that of her husband, Mictlan Tecutli. Oh my god. She is the alchemic coagula to join together. A continuation on a lower level of the concept of synthesis expressed by the feminine card, which is number 7. In fact, we see her near some recent remodeled bodies, which is here on the bottom, devouring stars during the day, which is this like blue thing right here. Because just as life cannot exist without death, they cannot exist without night. And the advice of the dead is the study and analysis you have done is sufficient, and the time has come to put them to work, enacting your own synthesis. So it definitely feels like life is trying to help you make sense of the pieces of information you have gathered throughout your whole life, all the way to this point. You have gotten a bunch of pieces, bits of knowledge here and there. You have learned terms here, terms there about how maybe spirituality works, or just things that you're piecing out within your own life. You know some things for certain, like maybe the job that you're gonna end up with, maybe not maybe who, but like the type of person you might end up in your life, or the type of lifestyle you're gonna have in the future. Like you've gotten like bits and pieces of information about that future that you're walking towards and you are kind of getting at. I do feel that with this card right here, you are someone that goes through transformations constantly. You are also someone that is learning how to make sense of the pieces of information that you get. I feel like you always get little puzzles, like puzzle pieces constantly. There is a sense of having a balance between day and night. So you may have a strong masculine energy based on all the fire that we have right here. And you're slowly balancing it out with your feminine energy. So being a little bit more in tune with your spirituality could be one step towards that. We do have spiders. And to me, spiders have always talked about networking, connections, specifically, what's it called? Soul family type of things. So I do feel like you could also be connecting with people. Like people and situations are pieces within the puzzle of your life. So there's people, bits of information and experiences that all are working together to give you the information necessary to understand where you're going in life. So I do have to say, pay close attention to your everyday life, and you're constantly just getting messages about, I guess, the universe and your spirit guides as well. I'm trying to see how to fit all the cards. You did get like a bunch of cards, but there is a lot of synchronicities going on here, and so I guess it makes sense why they're here, right? Now, the other card that we have right here is Imagine Reverse, which I will read it because it's usually, when we have reversals in the Wisdom of the Oracle, which is the deck that it comes from, they're usually shorter, so it's not that bad to read. And I hope I get words that I do know how to pronounce and how to say. As a Mexican, I feel disappointed I was not able to say those words. But it's not like in my everyday language, you know? Anyway, so let's read the protection message for Imagine. So we have illusions and wishful thinking rooted in a sense of lack have entered your life. Now may be the time to see things as they truly are and not as you hoped or imagined they will be. Release any fear, then envision anew. So here we go with another transformation. Perhaps you're anticipating that something fearful might happen and recreating that image of disaster over and over in your mind. The universe responds to such projections. So be aware of this catastrophizing. Be aware of this catastrophizing. I cannot even say it. Okay, whatever. No matter what, illusions and awfulizing are a misuse of imagination. Clear the inner slate and stay grounded. Stay real. Only then can you truly have what you desire. So again, you're people that have very good memories and you constantly get information. You do have very flashy, what is it called? I was going to say guardians for some reason. Very flashy spiritual guides, team, whatever the word will be that I'm kind of like missing. So your spiritual team is very flashy. You get information constantly all the time. You get bits and pieces of information all the time. And you yourself keep note of it as well. And you have very good memory of the things that, the patterns and the information that you get. So what I'm trying to get at is that there may have been a lot of times that you may feel disappointed because your expectations get the better of you. And now you have reached a point where you're being advised to focus on your present moment. Don't be too hung up with the bits of information that you get. Don't be too hung up with the bits of information that you have and you filling in those gaps. Like, don't worry about filling those gaps. Just continue with your present day, continue with your life, and slowly allow it to unfold. Because I do feel that is the best way you can continue with this. I wanted to mention that imagination, it is a very powerful tool to predict the future. And I know that some people can see that in a bit of a childish way. Other people can disregard it and be like, oh, you're a crazy lady. And it's like, no, think about it. When we create new technology, when we create new concepts and new lifestyles, it all starts with imagine this or imagine that. What if this or what if that? You know, it's kind of like imagine a world where we didn't have this difficulty. And boom, people start working towards making that a reality. That is the future, right? That's kind of what I'm getting at. I said that and I felt like I kind of just imagined. Like, I have a feeling I've heard this somewhere before. But yeah, imagination is the future, right? It is a form of manifestation as well. But let's go on to your tarot and see what is usually the focus of your inquiries. So what do you usually ask about? We have the 7 of Wands. So you usually ask, what is next? What am I going to do next? You are someone that is working against your illusions, which, yeah, that's something that you're working on right now with the Imagine reverse. You're also someone that is constantly connecting to your higher self or your spiritual team to get a better idea of not only what is the next step, but how to overcome problems and how to overcome adversaries. That word came up, but I don't really know what it means. I guess that means overcoming problems and issues. The 7 of Wands, usually I see that recently. I've seen it as a card of like not giving up. Also, I'm seeing 2 images, which is the 7 of Wands in the Tarot of the Divine, which is I don't know which story it is, but it's like, I think my sister mentioned it, that it's like a guy that is like making a railroad and working hard to make that happen. And the other 7 of Wands that I'm seeing is from the Shadowscapes Tarot, which is a fox that is fighting a badger to protect its cubs. Is that how you call baby fox? Well, whatever. The whole thing is that all I'm saying is that you usually ask for help when you don't really know what to do, or when you're trying not to give up on a situation, when you're going like head first against an obstacle. So your questions usually go like, how can I solve this problem? What can I do? What's next? I don't want to give up on this. So you're also probably a very persistent, you probably ask a lot of questions, let me put it that way. I'm getting, just like you don't give up on your goals and you don't give up on your actions, you also don't give up on asking questions. So I do feel that you're, just like you have very active spiritual team and also very active spiritual connection, you also probably ask a lot of questions. So yeah, your questions usually come with whatever problem you may have and whatever you're facing. Let's see. So let's get some information about the guys that usually help you. Oh, we have death. So the guys that usually help you are ones that may have some Scorpio energy, so they're very intense, which, I mean, we did have a bunch of fire and a bunch of like this you cannot ignore type of energy. So I'm not surprised that you have this Scorpio energy, in the sense that it's very intense. You can't ignore it. The messages that you get from your spiritual team is very noticeable, cannot ignore. But also with this death card, I'm just getting the normal image of the death card, right? Which is like, I guess, the first time I've ever saw it. And I'm seeing there. I'm focusing on that flag for some reason. I don't really know what's on the flag. I think it's a flower that may talk about purity and transformation. But your guides, the best information I can give you is that your guides are constantly helping you to improve yourself, to go through transformations that are necessary in your life. They're usually helping you through your transformations when you're changing from one place to another, when you're going through different stages in your life and different phases. They're always there to help you with those transitions. So if you feel your guides are very present, it's because you're about to go through the next chapter. You're evolving like a Pokemon. I don't really know why. That was the first thing that came to my mind. So that could be significant for someone. I myself do not play Pokemon, nor do I know much about it. So yeah. Oh, you know what image I got? My sister's favorite image in the movie of Pokemon, where everyone's like fighting their selves. I guess they're clones, and they're all fighting to the point of being exhausted. So I feel that I was listening to Lay not so long ago, and one of his songs, I think it's called Veil, he goes like, ride or die, I'm so down. I think that's one of the lines. So I do feel that your spiritual team is also like that. It's like they're with you through thick and thin. They never give up on you, and they never, just like you, they never give up on your dreams either. So whenever you feel down, they're there for you. Whenever you're going through a transformation, they're there for you. So I think there was another pile that also got like, your spiritual team is they're your cheerleaders. They're hyping you up. They're there for you. So with you, it's kind of similar. The only difference is that with the other pile, it was more like this gentle, like, we're there for you. You got this. No, with this one, it's like they're picking you up almost, and they're like, here you go. Go into the unknown. Solve the issues. And others are like kind of like they tag along with you, and like they're going with those issues right beside you. So very chaotic energy. But let's go into the last question. It is like, what is the way that you usually deliver your messages? Pile 5. What is wrong with me? Speak? Don't know her. Speech? What is that? All of a sudden I can't. Anyway. So we have the King of Swords reversed, the Seven of Cups upright, and Judgment upright. So the way that you usually deliver. All of a sudden I can't help but just think of a liver. I don't know why. I may be reaching the 5th dimension. I just don't know it. And then we have the Six of Cups on the bottom of the deck. And you can't see it because it's out of the frame. For poopy's sake. There you go. Can you see it now? But then you can't see Judgment. Get out of there. Okay, whatever. This is not important. The message. So with the King of Swords reverse, I feel that usually the way that your messages are delivered. Oh my god, I feel like I broke the word and now I can't see it any differently. It's usually within your head. So again, you may have a very big imagination. You may be very creative, and you could also be someone that is constantly planning about your next phase, your next step, your next plans, your next project. You're always thinking of what's next, what am I going to do. I don't know why I just got images of like the Jumper movie. I don't know how that's important. So maybe you're always jumping between timelines. You're always jumping between options, which that could make sense because we have the Seven of Cups, which talks about options. You're constantly thinking which will be the best path for me. I think many of you have very strong manifestation powers and very strong imaginations as well. So you're able to actually navigate a potential option and a potential path with a lot of details. Also with this King of Swords reverse, I do feel that you're constantly thinking so much that it's very difficult to dissect and analyze all of the knowledge and all the information that you're getting. Just like everything is possible to create, it becomes harder to choose a path because you're like, I can do it any way, shape, or form. And that's why I think in this reading, the best advice for you is just focus on your present moment. It's like, yes, you can do everything, but focus on your present moment. So you do whatever you feel like doing right now. And then, it slowly becomes this noble effect that it becomes that whatever path it is that you were like, oh, that is a possibility, right? Also with this Judgment card, we have Pluto energy, which, Pluto is a ruler of Scorpio, so I guess it's kind of important here. But it seems like you're the way that you usually get messages is like maybe the moment you wake up, you get a message or you have an idea. It kind of feels like if there was a trumpet next to your ear, and then your higher self or something like will like sound the trumpet and be like, wake up, pile number 4. Wait, what is your pile actually? Wake up, pile number 5. Get your shit together. We're gonna work. We're gonna do this. We're going to do that. And it's like, I don't know. It's like if you have like a spiritual coach. Okay, no. Let me rephrase that, because spiritual coach is actually a term. It's like if your spiritual teams were your training coach and they're like, okay, 10 more push-ups, go. And they're like constantly like hyping you up, and they're constantly sending you messages as well. And with the 6 of Cups is like your spiritual team is always when you feel nostalgia, that's usually messages from your spiritual team. They're trying to help you remind yourself of things that you may have forgotten. You have very good memory, so whenever you remember something from the past, that is your spiritual team sending you messages. That's how should I put it? The way that you usually receive messages, or the best way that you yourself like deliver those messages to yourself or to other people, is by saying, do you remember when this happened? Do you remember when this other thing happened? Or when you yourself go like through your notebook or wherever you like write the things that you go through, and go like, oh, that one time that I went through that, oh, I remember. Like you go through an experience and all of a sudden it's like, oh, I remember that happened to me before. And then you go through your notebook and go like, oh, there you go, that's when it happened. That's when you get your epiphany or your like moments. Anyway, I'll leave that. Okay, no, before that. And you get all of those moments and all of those things because that judgment card is trying to get you closer to that inner calling of yours, to that life purpose. Like they're trying to get you to that path that you've been wanting to be on. It's like you're already on it technically, but it may not be fully manifested the way that you actually want it to look like. So the universe is like, okay, look, we have to prepare you, human vessel. We have to prepare you for the type of dream that you want. And I think that's where you're at right now. You are being prepared for the type of lifestyle you're creating. So I'm saying because I saw the whole thing of like, do 10 more push-ups, go. So pile number 5, continue with your push-ups, your spiritual push-ups. I can't even speak. Oh my god. With your spiritual push-ups, continue with that. And while you guys are doing that and training hard for the lifestyle that you are manifesting, I will go on to the next pile. And hopefully I'm not that chaotic over there. So I hope you guys like this reading. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I had lots of fun reading for you guys. It was filled with energy, filled with shits and giggles. I wonder if someone laughed at the fact that I just say shit. I'm sure one of you has like a childish poopy joke trigger, in the sense of like you would just laugh if anyone says something like that. Yeah. Anyway, I hope you guys like this reading. I hope you enjoyed it, learned from it, or just found it entertaining. Feel free to tell me down in the comments below what are you going through, or like if this reading resonated. I will find it very fun to read what you guys have to say. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Love and healing for my part to you. I don't know why I'm still kind of like giggling, but bye. Hello, pile of sits. Welcome to your reading. For those of you that picked the Sapphire, you could be a Libra. We have the Libra symbol right here. And I think Sapphire is the crystal or mineral or stone that represents September. So that's something. And here we have the heart chakra. Some of the traits that you may be focusing on is sadness, oh shit, anger, and spirituality. So some of you are angry boys. Wait, hold up. I did do some research on Sapphire. So yeah, we have September. So Sapphire may be related to September, Virgo, and Saturn. So some of you may be going through your Saturn return. Good luck, people. Good luck. It is associated with social harmony, brings peace between lovers and adversaries. That word. This is the second time I've said this word. I still don't know what it means. So we have attracts wealth. It protects whoever's wearing this from envy and infidelity. Okay. It's connected to the heart chakra. Oh yeah, like what I mentioned. And then we also have, apparently it's a very strong, or it has a very high hardness. Second to diamond, apparently. I thought that was very interesting. And then we have connected to divinity, knowledge, and the sky. So pile number 6 seems like you may be pretty knowledgeable about the spiritual world, and seems like you're pretty connected to it as well. It feels like some of you guys may be in love, maybe, I don't know, since we have Libra, which could be connected to partnerships, and we did talk about protecting relationships. So I mean, that could be outside of romantic relationships as well, that you're just connected to. We do have the heart chakra here, so many of you guys are trying to connect to who you truly are. You're trying to be work from your heart space, so do things that satisfy you, do things that make you happy, and stuff along those lines. But let's see which spirit guide is working with you. We have Kushiel with the Angel of Punishment. This makes me think of the Justice card, which is also connected to Libra in tarot. I do have to say that it could be because I've been talking for a pretty long time while doing this video, but I'm feeling like my throat is hurting somehow. So I wonder if there's something that you want to say, Pisces, and it's just not really coming out. You're not speaking your truth. But with the Angel of Punishment, there is a sense of like your spiritual team or your spirit guides are people of justice. So if you do something that you know you shouldn't be doing, you automatically feel guilty and go like, damn it, I should be responsible for my actions. I should be responsible for my gifts. I should be careful with the words that I say, because you are aware of the power that you have. Like those times that you feel guilty, or those times that you feel bad, or those times that you are, I guess, aware that you did something wrong, is usually because your spiritual team is trying to help you become a responsible person when it comes to your gifts and your knowledge, and making sure that you use it respectfully. That's the word that came through. Also with the Angel of Punishment, if someone does anything to you that is not meant for you, your spiritual team will make sure that the person that did that or the situation learns from their mistakes. It's like, if anyone wants to hurt you, Pisces, your spiritual team comes through and is like, you will feel my wrath. And you have like this very angry spiritual team, like waving their fist at the sky and going like, get your shit together. I don't know. That's kind of what I'm seeing. Also, let's see. I do feel like your spiritual team works very quickly as well. So, karma works very quickly with you, Pisces. So if someone does something, they get punished quickly enough that they know they should have not messed with you, Pisces. But also, when you do something wrong, you are told off right away from your spiritual team, and you learn. You're like, okay, I won't do that, because you get told off right away. So there's some very, very strong discipline here. We also have Rock with a keyword endurance. So I do feel that many of you may have been disciplined a lot by your spiritual team. I also feel that many of you have a lot of knowledge about spirituality because you yourself have put a lot of discipline in it. You have put a lot of work in understanding it, a lot of work in harnessing your own skills and trying to improve from them as well. You seem to constantly use them as well, so you do have a very strong knowledge of it. You seem to do a pretty good job at understanding who you are as a person, how you work in the 3D world, and also connecting to your spiritual side. So there is this very good alignment between your spiritual side and your physical 3D side, I guess. So between the 3D and the 5D, you seem to have a pretty good connection as well with your mind, body, and soul. I do feel that what you're struggling with right now is your mind and your heart, because I do feel that you have it in a very logical manner, kind of like if I'm putting these two cards together, it's like you have worked very hard on something in your life and you're kind of like struggling along and just powering through obstacles and obstacles and obstacles, maybe internal conflict or external conflict with your like everyday lifestyle, your environment basically. So you're being constantly breaking walls, overcoming obstacles, going through issues, and I think your spiritual team has been working with you on that as well. So you're not alone on this one. Do not fret, do not worry. And you have slowly become this stable powerhouse of sorts. You have created a very strong foundation of who you are, and that will definitely help you in the long run and in the future. So keep that up. And I do feel that you are manifesting something beautiful and something abundant in a place that no one thought was possible. You are creating home, and you are creating something beautiful in life in a place that other people didn't think it was possible. Because I mean, we're seeing this tree growing like on top of like stones. And you know what I thought of as well? You know how apparently, I don't know if it's an art, I don't really know what it is. I just know it's a thing. People like to like stack stones on top of each other. Like I don't know, that's a thing. I don't know what it's for. I just think it's important to mention it because that's what this looks like, and there's a tree on top of it. So it's like you're co-creating with spirit, because we have number 20 right here. So this is a 2. You're co-creating with spirit to make the impossible possible, to create something out of nothing, to make what people didn't think could possibly work. So I do feel that sometimes you bring life to projects that people had given up on, or ideas that people had already given up on as well. So I do remember this one. Number 16 is Quetzalcoatl. Now let me read what the book has to say. Hold up. Also, when I think of Quetzalcoatl, I think of 2 things, which is like a book I read in my Spanish class, which was La Malinche, because I mean they talked about that god. And the other one that I think of, finally enough, is Final Fantasy 15. There is like this there's like this dungeon, I guess you could call it, that is in like, it's not a swamp, but it's filled with water, and you go underneath it, and you're technically underwater, and you fight this flying looking bird dragon, which is basically what Quetzalcoatl is. It's like a dragon, but instead of scales, it's feathers. What else? I don't know why I think of that. I think the name is Quetzalcoatl. I could be wrong though. But yeah, let me read what the book has to say. So number 16, Quetzalcoatl. We have reached the final card of the world of creations, which is the second world out of the 4 different worlds that the Santa Muerte Oracle has. With what we may... Okay, hold on, let me read that again. We have reached the final card of the world of creations, with what may be the most important Aztec god. Quetzalcoatl, or the feather serpent, was worshipped as the god of knowledge, dawn, merchants, the arts, and professions. He is associated with the wind and the element of air, which, I mean, we have Libra, so that could be important. He is therefore connected to the intellect, card number 22, which appeared in a previous pile, in case you want to check that out. Education, books, and the invention of the calendar. So I do feel that time and space could be significant for you, pile 6. And the advice of the dead says, do not fear and do not give up. Through perseverance and insistence, you will reach the goal that you desire and that most of all, you deserve. That is great news. So, you know how it said dawn, right? So, we do have some books right here. We do have the Aztec calendar. We do have the feather serpent as it was described in the book. And it is the last card of the world of creations. Meaning that right now you may not see your manifestations in the 3D because you're still bringing all of that information down. Let me explain. So, in the Santa Muerte Oracle, there are 4 different worlds. We have the main one, the top one, that is just energy. It's very hard to grasp. It's very hard to understand. It's just energy. Then in the second world, we have usually like gods, right? Aztec gods. So there is a bit more of an understanding, right? We have like an idealization of sorts, right? An archetype of sorts, I guess. And then underneath that, we have the world of formations, which, I mean, I'm aware of it because I was reading some previous cards that had that. And that one is kind of like concepts and ideas. And then underneath that, we have the actual, like, the last world, which is a little bit more connected to our physical 3D world. So what I'm getting at is that in these 4 levels, you're bringing information from the first one, which is just energy, and you're slowly bringing it down to, I guess, ideals of sorts. And the next step is to continue enduring all of that and bring it down to concepts and ideas that can be understood to later actually manifest it in the 3D world. So all I'm saying is that there's still a process, and that could be the reason why it's taking a while for your manifestations to come through. Like, you may be aware, like, I want to work on this, I want to make this. I mean, you're kind of like reviving you're like, how should I put it? You are planting trees in soil that people had given up on. So you are, I don't know what you're doing, Pile Sits, but you are creating a world on a place or on a time that could not be imagined. So I feel that you may be creating a concept, an idea, a way of viewing the world in a way that will take some time, because you have to work from the soil up. You have to create the foundation, which is the soil, or I guess wherever you're planting your tree, and then you actually have to plant this tree and grow that idea. So I think you're co-creating with spirit, because they understand it's not an easy feat. It's not an easy thing to bring this big power, this big knowledge. It's hard to bring energy and give it shape and form in a way that the 3D can understand, especially if it's something we don't know about, and it's something so new that it's kind of hard to grasp the 3D way of approaching it, right? So if you have a new view or a new idea, it may be hard if there's no pieces ready that can inspire you to make it happen. I hope that makes sense. Now, the last card that we have right here from your oracle is Peace Reverse. So again, since it's reverse, I will read from the book, because those messages tend to be clear and straightforward. Also, there's a lot of green here. We do have air, and air. So earth and air might be significant. So the protection message for Peace Reversed is, now is a time for calmness and well-being in spite of temporary conditions. So another thing with time, if there are dissonant notes in the music of your life, all that means is that you must go within and fine tune the extraordinary instrument that you are. Something that has to do with air as well. So find harmony within yourself and don't look to the outer world to provide serenity. This too shall pass, and once again your life will be filled with beautiful music. So you may feel a bit out of harmony, you may feel out of alignment right now, but life is telling you to look within and build your own home inside of you, kind of build your own stability. It's like, you see this tree is like, right now what you're working on has no physical space you can put it in, that you can label it with, or that you can even fully comprehend with our human brain. Like, it's hard. It's gonna be hard to see what it is that you're making. That's why life is telling you, work on yourself, work on your confidence or your sense of home, be your own temple, be your own home, so that you are constantly stable, because your environment will not be. It's kind of like if you're moving atoms and putting them together to create something out of thin air. Yeah, it's like we have air and earth in this reading. So it's kind of like out of air, you are working to make something more concrete and earthly, right? An idea that will eventually manifest. Yeah, right now life is telling you, don't look at the outer world for serenity or reassurance in the sense of trying to understand what you're going through, because you're not going to get it, in the sense of you're creating something that no one has created before. So you may feel a bit antsy, you may feel a little bit anxious or a little bit out of place, and life is telling you, don't bother looking it may sound a bit mean, but do not bother looking at the outside world. They don't get it, they don't know what they're doing in accordance to what you're doing, right? Like, the world is doing its own thing, and you're doing something that has not been seen before, has not been done before, and it has not even been thought of before. So working with nothingness allows for the ability to do everything, but at the same time it's kind of hard to have like a takeoff point, because there's nothing you're like standing on, if that makes sense. So it's kind of hard to do something in the 3D world as the way that we see it and the way that we view it, because I do feel like you're thinking completely outside the bots, and you may feel like you have been thrown out there. Like, I'm getting the vision of Among Us when you like kick someone out of like the ship or whatever, and you are kind of like floating through space. You are surrounded by nothingness, but that nothingness can make everything. So yeah. So what's usually the focus of your inquiries? Pile 6. Crap, that's too many. I'll do my best. So we have the tower. So you usually ask when you feel like like right now will probably be when you will be asking. You'll be like, oh, there's so many cards. So you have a lot of questions. So we have the tower, the Two of Cups reverse, the Page of Swords reverse, Strength upright, and Temperance reverse. You ask, when are things happening? why is this happening now, you usually ask when, like I'm saying, like when you feel like someone pulls the rug under your feet, you will always ask, or you that's usually your questions, like why is this happening to me, what is going on, where are things headed, when is this happening, when is this other thing happening. So you ask a lot of one questions, so a lot of timing questions. You usually ask questions when you feel like you're out of alignment with yourself and the people around you because of the Two of Cups reverse. And the Page of Swords reverse is you usually ask questions when you lack information or you lack understanding of your own situation. And the reason why you ask questions is like, give me, I guess that's not a question, but like, can you give me strength on this situation that I'm going through? I'm going through this tough time. Give me strength. Give me knowledge. Give me power, right? So with the Tower, we have Mars energy, we have Leo with strength, and we have Sagittarius energy with Temperance reverse. So you usually ask when you feel out of alignment. I go through this sometimes, that there are times when I feel like this emptiness within me, and that I usually ask like, what's wrong? And like I go like, what is this feeling? And usually I think I get that feeling when I'm disconnecting a bit from spirit, or when when I feel a bit disconnected from my 3D self, which I mean, unfortunately, I do feel that I need to work a lot with my root chakra. That is something I am not really good at. The 3D self, what is that? I live on Earth? What's that? What's going on? Like I feel that I'm usually not on Earth. But yeah, so I do feel that many of you go through this period where like sometimes you feel a bit disconnected and a little bit lost, like, oh, where am I, what's going on? Yeah, so continue working on your root chakra. It might be important. But let's get some information about the guides that usually help you with your channeling and your divination and stuff. So the card that we got was the Ace of Swords reverse. So your spiritual team is not one that really communicates with you. It is the one that stays very quiet. Instead of saying quiet, I said quiet for whatever reason. Is that even a word? But it's a team that stays very quiet. It is a team that may find it kind of difficult to communicate with you right now. Probably because I guess if you feel some sort of disconnect, is because you're having some disconnect with your spiritual team. Which, if that is the case, some meditation might be good. I hate to say it because I don't really like to meditate. But some meditation could be very good. So like that, you can quiet the environment around you and your overthinking and your own thoughts, so you can finally connect to your spiritual team. Because the Ace of Swords upright usually talks about having ease of communication with your spiritual team, being able to talk freely and being okay. And I did say that my throat chakra was hurting, which could be my throat being exhausted from talking for so long, but it could also mean that you guys are struggling with your throat chakra as well, which I suggest for you to slowly speak the truth to yourself and not feel bad about voicing your own ideas to other people. You may feel a bit crazy sometimes, but I mean, and it happens to be like that. We also, with the Ace of Swords, I do feel like your spiritual team doesn't really communicate with you. One, because I think they're kind of quiet. They silently support you and protect you. But the other thing is because the communication and the connection you have with them is a little bit weak right now. So I do feel that slowly strengthening that was a hard word to say, will be very beneficial for you, so you don't feel that disconnected. Now the last question is, what is the way that you usually deliver your messages? So we have the Empress reverse, and we have the King of Wands reverse, Judgment, and the Queen of Cups. Okay, finally a card that I haven't seen before in this reading. So let me think. The way that you usually deliver your messages is, again, it feels like with the Judgment card, you usually have like this inner voice within you that is constantly guiding you towards your life purpose, your life goals. It is like wake up calls constantly. So either I'm getting actually text messages. Like sometimes when you read stuff on the internet or on social media, sometimes words will be highlighted for you, if that makes sense. Like in highlighted as in like all of a sudden you can't forget something that's been told to you, or you can't forget something you read, or when you're doing something you accidentally highlight parts of a passage for whatever reason, like you didn't mean to, it just kind of happened. That is live communicating with you. That is one of the ways that you may channel your messages without even knowing. With the Empress reverse and the King of Wands reverse, there we have Venus. Oh yeah, let me tell you, we have Venus with the Empress, we have the King of Wands with Aries, we have Pluto with Judgment, and then we have Scorpio with the Queen of Cups. So again, Mars energy is kind of present right here. Then we have Scorpio and Pluto. I do feel that the way that your messages are also delivered is with your own intuition, like that inner voice, like you do actually listen to it, you do pay attention, like you are aware of it. Even though it's a silent, quiet voice, you know it's there, you do hear it. You may not fully decipher what it's telling you or what's going on, but it's there. Like you trust your instinct. That is a way that your messages are delivered as well. With the Empress reverse, I feel that when you relax is when your messages get delivered, and that could explain why you were, well, I heard that it would be advisable to meditate. When you're relaxed, it helps. When you take a break, because the King of Wands, I feel that it usually talks about being able to take action in a mature way, meaning that you know when to take action, when to do things, when not to do things. So with it being reversed, I do feel like you have been on the go, go, go for a very long time. And one of the ways that you get your messages, or that is usually delivered through you, to you, is usually when you're relaxed, when you're finally taking a break, slowing down a little bit to actually listen to that voice that you know it's there. It's like silently screaming at you, listen to me, and you're not fully paying attention to it. And with this Queen of Cups, I do feel like you could also get your messages in, like, I guess through like tarot, through writing. Again, I feel that it's more when you're reading something, like when you see stuff, like you see something and all of a sudden you're like, that's interesting, or I wonder why I can't get this image out of my head, or get these words out of my head. And that's usually how messages are being delivered to you, or how you deliver messages, is like you constantly think of something, or you constantly go back to the same thing that you've been seeing or reading or whatever. So yeah, pile number 6, I hope you guys like your reading. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope it made sense. And I'll see you in the next one, whenever that is, however that is. Again, I hope you learn from it or find it entertaining. Please make sure to take whatever resonates and leave the rest behind. Think with your minds, and if there is something I said but it doesn't quite apply, it could also be that you need to apply it to your own circumstances and stuff. So keep that in mind. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one, whenever that is, however that is. And I hope you really like your reading, pile 6. I'll see you whenever the next time is, whenever you see me, I guess. So yeah, love and healing from my part to you. Thank you so much for joining this reading. Feel free to comment down below, and I think that's all I have to say. Bye.